Hey everyone, welcome back to Google Workspace Recap, your number one source for everything Workspace by the Tab Geeks Network. My name is Jesse Nolan, my co-host is Steve Larson, and we're here to help you keep up. Just as I finally memorized... Oh, there's Steve. Hi, Steve. Just as I finally memorized the other intro, I decided to up and change it, so whatever. Shana Tova to all of my fellow Jewish listeners out there, and happy early Google Next to everyone else. As mentioned, next week's episode release... Wow, my alarm just went off. Sorry, guys. Our next episode release will be a bit later, thanks to me being offline for the holiday and missing the whole first day of Google Next. Insert the sad crying emojis and animation here for me.
Well, yeah, sad crying emojis for you, and some of the opposite for me though, because I got
get your ass on a plane, dude.
Yeah, I know. I got invited to the in-person event in Sunnyvale for the global keynote broadcast. So that's pretty exciting. It's going to happen the 11th.
Let's mic you up and let's see if we can get some interviews in person over there.
See what I can do. Yeah, I gotta act fast here. Gotta get everything together.
You gotta hop on a plane. Special aloha to Steve over in Hawaii at the moment, hence the background and the dramatic intro.
Yes, that's the West Maui Forest Reserve right behind me there.
Ooh. It's nighttime here. I would turn my camera around and show you the palm trees outside my window here in Southern California.
Yeah, you're just missing
almost
a volcano.
Competes. Just missing a volcano. Well, we've got earthquakes and we got wildfires. You put them together, it's basically the same thing. So, you know.
It is pretty close.
So yeah, that's pretty huge, and hopefully you can make it out there. And I mean, you've got the Zoom, so hook up a couple mics.
Yeah.
Get some interviews.
Yeah, so I have no idea how I got the invitation to this, but for anyone that
because we're the number one source for everything Workspace, duh.
Right.
They heard I was going to be offline, so they sent it to you.
Right, exactly. So if anyone is looking for this invite in case you're like, oh, did I get it? It came from Google Cloud Certification Support at google.com with dashes in between each of those 4 words.
Don't tell them Steve sent you.
It's called In-Person Invitation to Google Cloud Next and a Drone Race. So in addition to the global keynote broadcasts and getting to kind of meet some of the execs there, there is a drone race, Drone Racing League, the 2022-23 World Championship kickoff. It's happening from 6 to 10 that evening. So it includes some, tickets to see that as well. So it'll be interesting.
Sweet.
See, that's over at PayPal Park, and it's going to happen over there. So it's part of the Innovators Hive, I think part of the developer network. So that's kind of how that invite came through. So we'll see what's happening there. So that's going to happen on the 11th, like I said, and see if I can head out for that event and then hop back day after. So
very cool.
We might have to reschedule some of our recordings if that's the case. I think we're going to record on Wednesday, aren't we?
We are going to record on Wednesday, but we can record live if you're there.
It's possible, but I might be having to fly back by Wednesday morning. So
we'll see. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll just do a live show and wing it.
Yeah. It's
should be fun.
That person, yeah.
Well, I'm going to be spending like hours and hours basically just pounding, speed watching all of the release episodes from day one that night. So hopefully I'll get up to speed quick. But this week we have the world's largest episode, the longest episode we've ever done.
Yeah.
A grand total of 1 update. What is it, Steve?
Luckily, in addition to that lovely 1 update, there's a few additional things that happened with the Chrome 106 release that happened within the Ambient console, so we'll talk a little bit about that. And, of course, we do have a few things that happened in the news in relation to Workspace. So we'll also cover those topics as well. But yeah, it is pretty quiet on the lead up to next. Just 1 update here, which was that new Google Calendar shortcuts improved says glanceability for screen reader users. which didn't even know glanceability was a word, but apparently it is. So that's our update for the week. And then in version 106 of Chrome, there were 4 new APIs released, so network management in Chrome in the Chrome Policy API, CUPS print server management in the Chrome Policy API, and then support for group-based policies for printers in the Policy API. In addition to those 3 updates, there's also some updates to the admin console and new policies available there. So Web USB allow devices for URLs, application locale value, and restore on startup are now available in the admin console. We'll talk a little bit more about what those are as we go into the details. And then in other news, talked about Chrome and Google Drive updated. Get updated with iOS 16 lock screen widgets. There's a little competition over on Google Cloud Skills site, and if you complete those by the 13th of October, you get a lovely e-copy of Priyanka's book, Visualizing Google Cloud. I think you have the physical copy. Yes.
You only have one screen, so you don't see that I'm holding it up.
I know. See it now. I knew you had it. Yeah. But I do see it. And yeah, so this is an e-copy. I thought they were actually going to give. I didn't realize it was an e-copy. I thought it was a real physical copy, but now I'm going to do it.
You get the PDF version.
Yeah. Google, the Google News and Gmail updates add the iOS 16 lock screen widget. And then finally, we talked about this the other week around the framework laptop, but the folks over at Chrome Unboxed, and specifically Robbie, of course, mentions, wrote an article here about why he wants the framework laptop Chromebook edition to be my next everyday carry.
The title is actually Why I Agree with Jesse.
Right, is that what it is? Yeah. There's a last minute edit there, I think. So
yeah.
That's what we said before, right? And then that wraps up our updates for the week and everything that we are going to talk about in today's episode. So it's basically a Jesse episode for the most part.
Yeah.
It's mostly other news here, but yeah, I had to dig around for other updates where could I pull updates from what was happening somewhere else. So luckily that Chrome.
You are in Hawaii. I think we'll forgive you.
Yeah, that's all right. So the first update there that got released was that the new Google Calendar shortcuts improve glanceability for screen reader users. So for those of you that are not seeing us but are listening to us only, that may apply mostly to you. So the use of screen readers can now type a keyboard shortcut that verbalizes the content of an event, such as the title, date, time, guest list, and much more. So shortcuts greatly improve glanceability because they enable calendar details to be heard on demand instead of time-consuming navigation through information. And for those end users that need to use this, there's some details here about what kind of key combinations are used for each thing. And let's see here. So to view keyboard shortcuts in Calendar, you type Control +/ on Windows and Chrome OS, and Command +/ on Mac. And then you can use the following keyboard combinations to access the announced shortcuts, which is Alt+ for Windows, Alt + Shift for Chrome OS, and Option+ for Mac. And rollout for this one, it was rolling out to rapid release and scheduled release domains on the 27th of September. A full rollout with 1 to 3 days for feature visibility there. And this is available to everyone, of course, because it is a usability feature, so everyone gets this one. And yeah, that's the updates.
Including personal Google accounts.
Right, yes. Then jumping in over to the Chrome updates, though, with version 106. I was talking about those different APIs that are now available. So with the network management policy, this is going to allow admins to use the API to create, delete, configure, and configure Wi-Fi, Ethernet, and VPN networks and certificates. So a lot of things here that you can now do through the API and not just through the admin console or through kind of configuration profiles. Also, admins can now create, delete, and manage print server configurations with their ecosystem using the Chrome Policy API there. And then finally, there's the group-based policies for printers. So you can add to existing support, adding to the existing support for printer management on an OU by OU basis. Admins can now modify printer settings for particular Google groups within their organization using the policy API. And then in terms of the admin console, there's a few more things available there for admins to configure for the Chrome browser management. And that first one is that you can set the web USB allowed devices for URLs. So this is going to allow you to configure USB devices that are allowed to gain access to things. So I think this has been something that a lot of people have been asking for. I know in the Mac Admins Chrome channel is, how can I always allow the camera and the microphone to be used for my users? They like to click allow every single time in Google Meet, for example. So this looks like it is that policy that everyone was kind of asking for. So with this, you can define a couple things. You need to define the URLs that you're going to allow. So you can define google.com, for example, and then you have the devices that you need to allow. So you'll need to get the vendor ID and the product ID. And so with those three pieces of information, the URLs you want to allow this for, the vendor product IDs you want to allow, so you have to know the specific hardware that someone has for the device. You can then allow those to gain access to the kind of USB device there. And that could, I think, potentially help there with that type of situation. We'll see. I haven't had a chance to test it yet to see what that actually is going to allow there. And then application locale value. So this is going to allow you to define the Chrome location. So locale, where they're at. So if you need to set it to be English, French, German, those kind of things, it will allow you to define that now. And then finally, restore on startup. So this is the setting that you have, when Chrome shuts down, what is it going to do when it starts up again? So you have a few options to open a new tabs page. You can restore the last session, which is my preference and what I have on all my Chrome profiles. And then you can also say open a list of URLs or open a list of URLs and restore the last session. So 4 options available to you now. You can define those now in the admin console. And that's all for the updates.
Over to me.
Jesse, over to you.
Read your mind. All right, so iOS 16 users, we have 2 updates for you. Google Drive, Google Chrome, Gmail, and Google News, not Nose, have all added updates to the iOS 16 lock screen widgets category there, or capabilities. I personally don't find the Gmail ones to be all that useful because I don't know, I'm in Gmail all day and I see the notifications when they come in, and quite frankly, I don't need them there on my lock screen taking up space. I have clock, fitness, and batteries and weather, so those are my top 4 there. On the Chrome side, I can see it possibly being valuable. You've got the ability to search, or an incognito search, or a voice search, or play the Chrome Dino game, which actually is pretty cool. I really like the Chrome Dino game, so I might just put on there for funsies to have easy access to the Chrome Dino game. Those are all available now. You can update the app to be able to get access to those. On the Drive side, you are able to have suggested files as well as search and starred, and the last 2 are just 1 by 1, not pixel but frame measurement, whatnot, shortcuts over there. So you'll be able to just click on those to easily get to those areas of Drive. On the Gmail side, You get an unread count and the Gmail logo, or an unread count with a breakdown that includes chats and spaces, which is interesting if you're just looking for the number of what's going on there. And another one, which is a top/single line widget, which is above the time, which basically just includes the date and how many emails you have on there, it looks like. So, and then Google News as well was rolled out for top news and latest headlines. So if you're interested in a big user of Google News on iOS, you should definitely check that out. Just update your apps and they're available right there. So easy peasy. Then we had over on Twitter, and we'll include a link in the description below or in our blog post for the show notes for those of you that like to access those instead of viewing it in the description, is a challenge, I suppose. Complete these 6 hands-on Google Cloud Skills challenges by October 13th, which is in 10 days from now. 9 days by the time you're probably listening to this tomorrow, to earn a special Google Cloud Next digital badge plus a no-cost e-copy of, it says her Twitter handle there, Priyanka's book, Visualizing Google Cloud, which, again, I showed off when I got it, a month or 2 months ago on our show. So just, again, really cool, easy breakdown of all the different things and features of Google Cloud and how you can plan everything out and makes it really easy and fun to learn about and whatnot. So there's a thread here that you can learn through what those 6 hands-on challenges are and links to how to do them and to take the Google Cloud #challenge. That's that one. And then I already talked about the Gmail news updates. So then the last one here is the article from our friends over at Chrome Unboxed, agreeing with me that they want the Framework Laptop Chromebook Edition to be our next everyday carry, their everyday carry and my everyday carry. This thing is going to be great. I'm super excited about it. Granted, I don't have the HP Elite Dragonfly Chromebook, and I've seen their reviews of it. It looks absolutely phenomenal, and the price has to come down to make that realistic for a mid-sized business to purchase, in my opinion. Right now, if you go to HP's website, it starts at $2,100. That's US dollars. That's a lot of money.
That's the Dragonfly one?
That's the Dragonfly on HP's website.
They have cheaper ones.
Where?
On the site.
B&H, and no, it says right there in bold letters, starts at $2,100 or $2,200, whatever it was.
Okay,
find it for me. We'll include. Steve will find it. We'll include the links. As I said on last week's episode, I've bought 7 different Chromebooks here, different types and brands, Acer, Asus, different sizes, different capabilities, different generations, processors. Basically, all of the top Chromebooks available today, short of the Dragonfly and the Framework laptop to test. So when I get the Framework laptop, which should come sometime in December, I believe, if not earlier, then I will definitely do a separate video on that and review it and show it off on the show and whatnot. Steve, did you find the more affordable price?
Yeah. HP Elite Dragonfly 13-inch, $1,149.
Okay, not so terrible. Where is that?
On HP's site. I sent it to you.
You sent it to me on the
it's in the meeting
chat.
Notes.
We have like 18. Oh, it's in the meeting notes.
In the other news.
We have like 18 different places that we communicate. Yes. Okay, so $1,149. Interesting. Yep. And that's for the i3, which is pathetic.
Yeah.
It's an i3. Now, granted, the 12th gen i3s
look at the one that's left, i5.
So,
i5
yeah, for 1354. Yeah, that's a lot of money for. I mean, comparing it to their previous gen, which I don't have in arm's reach. Yes, I do. Comparing to this guy, the Elite C1030 or whatever it was, I think. You know, sure, it started out costing that much, but then immediately dropped by hundreds of dollars. Is that going to happen here? Like, you could get this exact model at Best Buy for $650 or even $450 refurbished. And, I mean, that's a hell of a deal. But now I can't get them anywhere, and so that's why we're doing this whole major review of what's the next best affordable, not affordable, but under $1,000 champion Chromebook. But I may have to just personally buy this $1,100 one because I want it. And it looks unbelievably amazing. So I'm a little bit drooling over this, as you can tell. But based on the reviews of Chrome Unboxed, it is that amazing. So definitely going to have to at least find one in the wild somewhere to get a hands-on and and see what it really feels like, because HP makes an excellent Chromebook. That being said, I am very excited for the Framework Laptop Chromebook and all of its modules and widgets and whatnot that you're able to add on or take away or whatever as you need it. So that's our news for the week. So short and sweet. We're going to let Steve get back to vacating and surfing over in the beautiful islands of Hawaii.
No surfing. I don't know if I. I'm not
No surfing?
I've never. No, scuba diving.
Live it up. Go give it a try. Oh, scuba diving's got to be gorgeous out there. Oh my god, I can only imagine. I went snuba diving in the Bahamas, but not in. I've never been to Hawaii. Snuba. That's with a tether to the surface. So you've got like the full breather apparatus, but there's no tank on your back. There's just a hose that goes up to a tank that's floating on a raft, basically.
Yeah.
So you kind of tag it along with you, and then you can go down, I don't know, 40, 50 feet, whatever it is. So it's not as intense as scuba diving, but you still get to go pretty decently far down just from the corals and the fish and so on. So now you learn something. I did it in Israel too. I went scuba diving a lot in the coral reefs that are down there, and they have a whole preserved area, etc. It's gorgeous. Not so great for the ears though. That hurts. You know what I mean? Scuba diving as well is even worse, I'm sure. So, but yeah, so we'll give everybody some time back here. That's all for this week. Send us your questions and comments on Twitter at Workspace Recap and on our website workspacerecap.com. Hit the subscribe button and leave us a review wherever you're listening. Hit the thumbs up, drop your comments, etc., etc. I'm going to skip over all the rest of that because I basically just said that in etc. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time on Workspace Recap.